So today is January 4th, I think. I don't know, I'm still in the fog of Christmas and New Year's and whatnot. But I'm going out here to a spot I went this morning when I was deer hunting. And there's a little creek right there. And when I left the hunt, there was a big old otter sitting there. And so I don't have a whole lot of time before it gets dark now because I had to get some stuff done around the house. But we're gonna go out here and throw out a couple of 330 sets and blind sets and just see if we can catch him swimming through some of these little pinch points. You know, my deer hunting, I have tried my best to try to get a hunt on film for y'all, and that's hard enough as it is. You know, mad respect to the people that actually do it, but it's even harder when you're a bad deer hunter. Like, I've killed one deer this year and I didn't have a camera with me, so it's been a struggle. But if nothing else, I figure maybe I can get a little footage of doing some trapping and stuff. And so for Christmas, my wife got me a new pair of waders, so I'm pretty excited. I popped a hole in my other ones last year, so I've kind of been on the sideline for a little while trying to get through Christmas and everything. And my plan was to buy me some after Christmas, and she bought me some for Christmas. So, you know, luckily I get to go out here and try to get this done. But one of the reasons I'm really after this otter, of course, otter's always a prize catch for me. But I ordered a whole bunch of arrow shafts, and I'm gonna do a lot of arrow building and stuff, and kind of stock up on arrows. I'm gonna make some traditional flu-flu, some spiral flu-flus, and about 2 dozen just good hunting arrows. And I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm gonna need somewhere to put all these arrows. So I've always liked the idea of having a quiver made out of an otter. And I've got a couple. I've got one giant pelt hanging on my wall, but I wanna save that one. That's been my biggest, and I just really like, you know, the looks of having it hanging around. I got another one, but I think it's gonna be a little too small. And so this guy was like the perfect size. Like, you looked at him and you just knew that he was gonna fit exactly what you needed. So I'm gonna go out here and see if I can't catch this guy. It's a little bitty creek, and there's lots and lots of beaver sign in there. And I already made up in my mind that I want to go trap this for beaver this year, and I was going to wait until after hunting season. But otters have a pretty big range, and you know, he might show back up tonight. Hell, he might be gone for the next several months. He may never come back. I don't know. But just in case he decides to hang around, and you know, if he was just exploring and he wants to explore some more, he likes what he saw, you know, maybe I'll catch him, you know, either leaving or coming back through. So I'm gonna go throw out a couple simple sets. Like I said, just 330s. I'm gonna put them in pinch points of the creek, and with any luck at all, we'll have an otter in the morning. But I'm gonna take y'all along for this, show you my setups, and you know, I'm gonna be trying to figure things out as I go, how I want to set this. Because besides, you know, looking up and down it, you know, as I crossed it to deer hunt, I don't really know much about this spot. It's public land, which is always a little scary setting traps during hunting season, because you know, everybody sees your traps and thinks they're antiques, and they want to steal them because they got a little rust on them. And some folks steal them just because they're assholes, but you know, most folks, I like to think they steal them unintentionally, thinking, you know, they found something from Jeremiah Johnson. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna get these things set, and we'll see what happens. A couple things. So I am bringing my deer rifle with me because I've seen some of the biggest deer I've ever seen when I was beaver trapping, so just in case. And then as far as traps go, I've got 6 330s, which I don't know if I'll get them all in or not, and then I've got a trapping hammer and a machete, and that's it. And the GoPro. So we're gonna go check this out. All right, y'all can see there's feeder sticks and bank dens everywhere, and right in here is where I saw that otter. He was actually playing right along in here and kind of through here. So got some real deep water in here as far as trying to set these 330s the way I want them. So I'm gonna have to kind of set them kind of along the banks in some areas and some of these smaller pinch points. And I'll probably go to the other side of the bridge and set a few over there, because I'm pretty sure I saw a pinch point over that way. But if you can see, right in here, that's a perfect area to set a trap where he'll swim along that bank and go inside. Plus it keeps our trap hidden. So we'll look at something like that and get a few of these put in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get this guy set. Well, actually, let's let some pressure off of it. I'm gonna bend these triggers a little bit more. There we go. I like the way that looks. I think you'd be hard pressed getting through that without hitting wire. So we'll take this, a trapping hammer. We're gonna take some of these beaver sticks, and there's a big old feed spot right here. That's definitely a bank den. And we could probably put something right here and catch a beaver. But like I said, we're gonna try to focus on these otter. So I think I'm gonna go around to the other side and kind of set the back door of that little tunnel right here to the left. I don't know if y'all can see that, but we'll try that and see if someone tries to swim through. Like I said, we'll come back and get these beaver, but they are not the target species this trip. See, I like this right here, and I like this right here. I think, because you can see the holes and everything where they've been sliding in and out. There's some fresh tracks. Looks like beaver. But I think we are gonna sit just like this. Yeah. So with these kill traps, I don't actually wire them off. I just take my stick, go ahead and break this thing. The water's cold. It was 25 degrees this morning, so that water ain't much warmer. But anyway, I just put the lead right through there. And we'll do something like that. And where did the other stick go? See, right there is perfect for us to kind of block this off a little bit. Work as a good dive stick. Put that about like a little bit lower. There we go. And then we'll put some more gating off and stake that trap a little bit better. Our otters are real curious, so we'll take some of this grass, and what we'll do is we'll kind of see the trap right here, and we'll just kind of camouflage it in and make it look like a little secret area they can go explore. Like I said, these are all kind of blind sets here where we're just sitting, we're not baiting, we're just hoping that a critter gets curious. All right, the safeties are off, so all something has to do is swim in or swim out. And we know there's a side door and a front door, but we're gonna put one at the back door and just see what happens. We got a few more to set, so let's go do that. All right, I can't tell if this is a bait den or this is just an area that they're coming in and feeding. Trying to get a better look at it. I think this just goes around. It's just a cut in, and something's feeding. I know I saw that otter swim through that this morning. Now the bank den could be under the water and come up. I don't know. I don't feel anything, but that could easily be the case. That might even be it right there. Can't really tell. But yeah, that just comes on around, so we're gonna sit right there. Well, either this side or the other side, and see what happens. So let's try that. I think this front side will be easier to box off, so that's what we're gonna go with. Gonna be kind of hard to get in there, but I think we can make it happen. We'll start by clearing some of this stuff out of the way. I'm not gonna remove it, just trying to move it. Oh man, I hope ain't nobody home, because this will be a heck of a place to come face to face with a mad beaver or a mad otter. Ah, yeah, we're gonna sit just right in there. Again, we're gonna fix these wires. There we go. I think that's the ticket right there. So we'll go ahead and anchor it in right here. Oh man, I gotta balance on the hammer. There we go. Alright, that ain't going nowhere. Let's do the same thing on this side. All right, now, I don't think there's any need to do any kind of fencing right here, so we're gonna go ahead and take these safeties off. Try to use that stick so I ain't gonna crawl back in there. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. We might do this just because we can. And there we go. Trap number 2 is set. And see, I think this is a really good set for an otter, because yeah, beaver are probably coming up in here to feed. Whether or not they will actually go all the way through or not, who knows. I don't think there's a den back in here, but an otter will swim down this bank and he'll go in here and he'll explore and pop out the other side. And like I said, that's exactly what he did this morning in this very spot, so maybe he'll come back and do it again. All right, y'all can see there's some really great pinch points in here. There's 2 creeks that come in right there, and that's right there at the property line, and it flows on down. I mean, these are great. The problem is, here's an old fire pit. Here's a hole somebody dug. There's my truck. That's just kind of asking somebody to steal your trap or come down here and let their dog run around and get stuck in it. And that just gives everybody a bad taste in their mouth. So even though this is a great little area, it's better to try to find other areas where people aren't going to be able to access your traps near as easy. You know, especially their pets. People get real bent out of shape. You know, you catch their dog in a trap. And that's how things like trapping on public land get shut down. So just because it's a great spot to set a trap, don't mean you can't avoid your common sense. You know, this is public. This is everybody's land. You don't get to do exactly what you want to do. So be smart about it and set in areas that are less likely to be disturbed. All right, let's move on down here. Look for another area to set one more. We're kind of running out of daylight, and there's some places on the other side of the bridge that I really like to take a look at. So we're gonna try to get 3 set on this side of the bridge and 2 or 3 on the other side. I tell you what though, now if I was coming after beaver, yes, I would set some of these 330s, but you take a TS-85 foothold and make your little caster mound set, or just put a little smell on one of these runs and put it down there in the water, it's almost a guarantee. Especially in an area like this, it's real small. Everything in the area is gonna smell it. Like here, about the same time next month, we're gonna stack some beaver in here. I mean, there are little feed spots everywhere. And see, this creek goes all the way out to the main river. So we're probably only half a mile from the river right here. I mean, look at this. Slides everywhere. So a little caster and a couple footholds, and we'll pull a bunch of beaver out of here. Okay. Right here is obviously a den. It goes all the way back up in there, and there's feeder sticks everywhere. Most likely we're gonna get a beaver right here. But I have seen otters live in beaver lodges and dens a lot. So, I mean, if the worst case scenario is we catch a beaver, that's really not a bad trade-off versus putting it in a spot where we probably won't catch anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it right here. I'm gonna try to set it just inside and then gate it off just a little bit. So let's try to get that worked out right now. All right, we've got our trap set right in there. We're gonna pull some of this away and create more of a path, as well as use it for some fencing. Just make that real inviting right there. And to be honest, I don't know if he'll be going in or coming out, but that doesn't really matter. All right, let's take the safeties off. And maybe put one more stick right there. Just a little fencing. I don't think we need it, but it's just so I feel better about it. Now I've learned that trapping's like fishing. It really comes down to doing what you're confident in, you know? And, you know, if putting an extra guard stick there makes you a little bit more confident, do it. You know, it ain't gonna really hurt anything. As long as it looks pretty natural. And I think that's pretty natural. So there we go. That's set number 3. I'll be surprised if I don't have something in the morning. All right, this ain't a bad area right here, but we're gonna try to get to the other side without filling our waders up, because it is deep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a little rough. But I think we're okay. All right, let's go check this area out. I'm not even fixing to lie to y'all. I just poked a hole in my brand new waders. My Christmas present for my wife. My left boot is full of water. I slipped off the edge and one of those beaver sticks caught me. And I got a big old hole in my new waders. And I think I'm gonna throw one more set, go home and see if this patch kit helps. But it's a big hole. Yeah. Alright. Last set, but I'm going home. Look at that. I'm just wearing sweatpants under there and they're soaked. I don't know if I can patch it. That's a huge hole. Oh my God. Well, my GoPro died, so I gotta show you like this. All right. I built this side up. This won't last after a rain, but it'll last for tonight. And pinched the creek down to about that wide. I took all that stuff from right in there. It was already a wash, so it's pretty natural looking. And then I put the trap on a stick like this. And we're just gonna set it down into here. We're gonna fence it off a little bit more. Take the safeties off. And that ought to trap whatever comes through this way tonight. So, and that's if none of these cars see me out here and decide to come snoop and take anything. So, yep, that's that. I'll show you after I fence it off what it looks like. All right, safeties are off. I've anchored it down in there with some sticks going in between the springs and hammered those down. I don't know if you can really tell from this angle, but I mean, there ain't no way to get around this. You gotta swim through it. That dive stick right there, they'll come up, lower their heads, get popped. So we'll come check it in the morning. Now we're gonna go home and cry about our waders. Well, all right, we're back out here. I spent several hours patching my waders. I used a 2-part waterproof epoxy, and then I used a patch kit. I did inside and outside. Plus I put a stitch in it to hold everything together. So now we're gonna see if these things are actually waterproof still. Hopefully they are. Otherwise this is gonna be really cold. But temperatures are in the 40s. They're gonna drop down into the 20s all week next week. So we're right on the edge of a cold front. I think it should have got things moving. And yeah, so moment of truth for these waders. Go ahead and step off into the deep and no leaks. That is wonderful news. All right, let's go check these traps and see if there's anything in them. All right, coming up on our first set, and it hasn't been touched. Really not all that surprised right there. There's so many openings. We were just hoping that, you know, an otter would get curious. We weren't targeting beaver. If we were, that'd have been a little bit different. We would have put some castor out there too to get their attention. So, on to the next one. All right, here's the other trap. And we got a little guy. I mean, little bitty dude. So, there's something. Not what we're going for, but we'll take it. Let's go check these other two down here. Well, one down here, and then we'll go to the other side of the bridge. All right, coming up here, and we've got something. Looks like another young beaver. So we've got him. Kind of figured that was going to happen. He was obviously coming out from in there. This is the one that we set. That was way back in there. But it is what it is. I mean, if we were targeting these real big ones, we would have used some castor. These are just kind of feed catches. And these young ones are all over the place chewing stuff up. So we've got them. And then the other side of the bridge, we put that one right in that little pinch point that we created. And that's the one that I'm most hopeful for will have an otter. And it's our last chance. So we'll go check that out next. All right, the last set is always an excited, nervous one for me, because this is your last opportunity and you have no idea, you know, if your goals are going to be met, especially when you're after something like otter. So yeah, let's go check the last one. All right, this is where our trap was. It's gone, and there's something floating right there. What do we have? Another beaver. It's a bigger beaver though. It's a giant beaver. Oh. Yeah, that's got to be one of the bigger beavers I've ever trapped. That thing's probably I don't know, 55 pounds. So that's a good one. Right there in that little pinch point. So no otters. We'll have to come back here and try to get them another day. But hey, we got the waders patched. We made a couple catches. We got a little fur. We got a little meat. I might try something special with these. I might make some beaver sausage. Sausage would be pretty dang good, actually. We'll try that. We'll make a beaver sausage, and then we'll make some sausage balls out of it, and feed them to our friends without telling them. See what they think. But anyway, see if I can get a look at this. Y'all can see how big he is. I can't hold him up high enough to show you. Oh, I'm dropping my phone. Phone down. Okay. Ugh. I'm gonna have to set this camera up to show y'all better. There ain't no way. Let's try to get this thing in frame. That is a big old beaver right there. Whew. We got some skinning to do.